Hello and welcome to my presentation. I am Margo Hartley and I'm a chemical engineering student, and my topic today is hydrogen fuel cells, specifically hydrogen fuel cell vehicles, which have really just piqued my interest within the past year since I've learned about them. So we have our big what if question. What if instead of gasoline, we fueled our cars with hydrogen? And when I initially heard this, I was like, okay, how is this different? I don't know anything about gasoline. I don't know anything about hydrogen. So what is the benefit? What are we going to learn from this? What is going to happen if we fuel our cars with hydrogen? Well, that's what I'm going to talk about today. We're going to talk about the materials needed to fill our cars with hydrogen, the wastes and hazards, which is really going to determine if this is the right choice, and the research progress that is going on within the field of fuel cells and specifically hydrogen fuel cell vehicles. So how does this whole thing work? What are our materials that we have? Well, we have hydrogen. We're going to store our gasoline in a tank and we're going to store our hydrogen in a tank. We also have our polymer electrolyte membrane, or PEM for short, and it's going to be sandwiched between these positive and negative electrodes, and hydrogen is introduced into the anode, which is the negative one, and oxygen is introduced into the cathode, which is the positive one. Well, through an electrochemical reaction in this catalyst vessel, the hydrogen is going to split apart into protons and electrons. Those protons are going to flow through this membrane into our circuit, which is going to power our car as an electric car would. So what are our wastes and hazards? And this is when it really blew my mind. Our only waste is water. Just water. No exhaust fumes, nothing, just water. However, our hazard, hydrogen. So there are some concerns relating to storing a large tank of hydrogen on a car. However, through further research, because hydrogen is flammable, but it is actually safer than carrying a tank of gasoline on your car. Because you know what else is flammable? Gasoline. And where can you get your own? Because I remember this being my question immediately when I learned that, hey, there's a very efficient car that runs on hydrogen and only produces water. Great for the environment. Where can I get my own? Well, California, where they have the infrastructure to fill your car with hydrogen. Several car companies, I think General Motors, are doing some test vehicles. I don't know if they're necessarily for consumers or just people that want to test them. I don't know, but there are test vehicles coming out, meaning that you could be getting them in the near future, being made available and affordable to all consumers. And one thing that really blew my mind when I first learned about it is public transportation using hydrogen fuel cell vehicles. There are buses in big cities that run on hydrogen. And public transportation in itself is already environmentally conscious. However, when you're not even, producing any exhaust fumes from doing this, that just amps it up, All right, my summary. You can get a car powered by hydrogen that makes water as its only waste. It's also more efficient than gasoline vehicles. And there is research going on at Tennessee Tech right now on hydrogen fuel cell vehicles. We actually have tiny, small vehicles that run by a hydrogen fuel cell. And you can get your own in a full-sized car soon, in the very near future, which I think is incredible. And in conclusion, this is the U.S. Department of Energy that has given me a lot of this information that makes it very palatable and very easy to listen to, because I remember going into the details and it is just a little confusing, but overall, I think this is an incredible way to completely change the world, to completely change our pollution, to completely change our emissions, and we're so close. That is all.